Hello, hello, and welcome to Taka Tarot with Crystal. I am an intuitive tarot reader, and if you'd like to learn more about me and the services that I offer, you can check me out at takatarot.com, Taka tarot.com. And for those of you that have been hanging out with me for a minute, I've changed the setup a little bit, got a better light. Thank you to the collective for your kindness and generosity that allowed me to get my $20 lamp at Amazon. Yes. And now, not only is the light better, show you back the card here, you can see, yay, but it's how I usually do reads. It's the setup that I usually do reads. So for me, this is a much more natural setup, and I just feel better and lighter about that. So again, thank you for your kindness and generosity. Because of that in the collective, you have allowed me to get my Amazon lamp, which just makes everything run smoother. Thank goodness for the big favors, right? Alrighty, so this is going to be your full moon in Libra read. I'm recording this on Saturday, the 27th of March, and the full moon is coming in on Sunday, the 28th. So, and that will be in Libra. Now, before I get started, a couple things. Libra tends to be the area of the sign of, and the area of relationships and of balance. And balance is very broad, of course, and relationships is also broad. It could be intimate relationships, familial relationships, friendships, in any sort of exchange, between two people. So this has a lot to do with relationships, and if that resonates with you already, take this in the relationships in which they resonate. Do not seek problems that are not there. Like rule number 1 of tarot, right? Do not seek problems that are not there. Use your intuition here. And I'm front loading all that because once again, this reading for the collective, this weekly or this moon reading for the collective has a ton of major arcana. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. And then at the bottom of the deck is another one. And I've got 8 cards on the ground, and 6 of them are majors. I almost didn't want to read it. I'm like, this looks manufactured, but that's how they popped out. So anyway, I'm going to dive right into it because I think we've got a lot to chat about here. And there is some interesting energy with this moon, and actually with the new moon coming up too. I wouldn't be surprised if that pops out of this as well. Alrighty, first up is the Devil. So the Devil is the card of addictions. It's the card of being controlled, things controlling you, right? Kind of what you own owns you, or, your habits, your vices, behavior patterns, relationship patterns, and then literal addictions, little excessive alcohol, drug use, etc. Other kind of health problematic things, right? Mental and physical. So, and the Devil will come out a lot when we're talking about toxic relationships, narcissistic relationships, codependent. Codependency is a lot more common than we tend to realize, and spans beyond the toxic, shitty, love relationship, right? Like this, we can have codependency in family situations as well. So again, kind of broaden your perspective if you're feeling like this resonates, but you're not really sure where it lands yet. So Devil upright is all about that. You see these kitties, they're chained. They also are having some identity crises. So, this guy's got bunny ears, this guy's got dog ears. They're chained to this thing. There's flames in the back. And, this identity crisis I want to point out to is, it's a losing of your sense of self. That's what addictions do. That's what lack of boundaries manifests into. That's what these binds that we, let control us do. They cause us to lose our sense of self, and then we're not really sure what our stable grounding and footing is. I think this is important as we go through this read. But the wheel is turning, friends, and the wheel... So the wheel you tend to move with it. It tends to be a little more like a co-creation with spirit, kind of, aligning with timing, right? Like you're turning the wheel is also turning with you. It's a little more simpatico, right? A little more synchronicity here. So the wheel is turning. It is time to start turning away from these sort of feelings, relationships, habits, patterns, etc., and move into something new. Because we've got this Libra full moon, like I say, tomorrow, and then in a couple of weeks the new moon is in Aries, and Aries is a very kind of aggressive energy, and not necessarily in a bad way. It's a fast-moving energy. It's a very direct energy. It's a masculine energy. You think of the Aries symbol, the zodiac symbol, and it's a ram. They like ram through things. They get shit done, right? So that's the energy that's kind of following on the coattails of this new moon, and this new moon is an air sign, or new moon, excuse me, on this full moon, and this full moon in Libra, that's an air sign, very intellectual, kind of high level, more meta, and talking about relationships. So there's definitely emotions, going brewing in this particular moon. But the wheel is turning fast as well, because that Aries energy kind of like rides this Libra full moon's bumper, right? It's just like kind of on its ass. And because Aries just wants to get in and get it done. Like, everybody get out of my way, I'm going to do this thing, which can be frustrating if you need time. It can be frustrating for a couple of reasons. It can be frustrating if you need time to deal with some of this and regain some sense of self. It can also be frustrating if you feel like you're there, you're good, you're like, I'm in a good place, I'm feeling very grounded and stable and comfortable and confident, and I just want to get a move on. And then this energy can feel very slow. And I think there's really going to be two kind of major buckets of how people feel in this Libra moon. They're going to feel sort of stuck and worried and, just kind of anxious, or they're going to feel sort of impatient. And I think a lot of it will have to do with how and where you are when it comes to comfort and confidence in your sense of self. The Tower reversed came out after the Wheel, and I kind of want to read these together. They're like together but separate. So like I was just talking about with sort of the two pots for this Libra full moon, there's going to be the people that are like, I'm good, oops, backwards camera. I'm good, I'm grounded, I'm ready. I just want to like start working on my next move. Like, I want to turn this wheel a little faster, please. Can we go ahead and do that? Right? That's going to be one group. The other group is not going to feel ready for this wheel to be turning. And the thing is, the wheel turns. And, this is a 10 card. This is kind of and it's like smack dab in the middle of the major arcana, right? So it's sort of like, this thing is moving anyway. And are you going to roll with it? Or are you going to delay the inevitable? So Tower reversed, which is what came out for this reading. Tower reversed is about delaying the inevitable. Tower upright is, this thing's happening. We are cranking this fucking wheel over to the left, and bam, crash, boom, out you go in the tower, whether you're ready or not. Reversed is you trying to control the timeline a little bit and say, I can kind of see the red flags here sort of flapping, and, I'm feeling a tower moment on the horizon, but yeah, I really don't want to deal with that, so I'm going to avoid the hell out of that. And go ahead and try that, but the wheel is turning, the tower is going to fall anyway, So this is just kind of a delaying the inevitable, sticking your head in the sand, not wanting to deal with these energies, okay? Next up is the Emperor reversed. Sorry, I'm trying to get that sort of. And this is my oldest deck. Let me just take a pause here. This is my oldest deck. I've had this, my original tarot deck. It was given to me by my good friend Erica, who's an excellent tarot reader as well. She does a lot of focus on love readings and things. She's very good at that. But I have a rabbit right now. This is not his doing. My current rabbit chuckles. I've learned I keep my tarot cards up higher now. But my previous rabbit got a hold of this deck a handful of years ago and just started munching. So this is a little gift from Sir Bunny. He obviously really liked the Emperor card. Kind of reminded me of an emperor too. Anyway, so you have the Emperor reversed in this reading, and the Emperor well, let me back up. Emperor upright is heavy entrepreneur energy. That is more masculine energy, Emperor, obviously. This is the planner. This is the business person. This is the, organized, got your shit together kind of deal. This is the not so much. This is the opposite of that. So this is kind of lacking a plan when you really should have one. This is lacking direction, really. And if we're thinking about, and tying it into the first part of this reading, if you're sticking your head in the sand about some stuff here with the Devil card, but the wheel's turning anyway, but you want to stick your head in the sand even more over here and pretend that this Tower card isn't coming, well then yeah, you're not ready for it. You don't have a plan. So this, or an idea of where you want to be. And plan sounds very Virgo. I mean, hello, that's what I am. So I don't mean like have it all written down, have your, coordinates on the GPS and the spreadsheet. No. It's not like literal plan, but just knowing where you want to be, who you want to be, what you want your next move to be. Are you happy, healthy, and whole right now? If not, what do we need to be focusing on, right? I mean, this could be chakra work. This could be Reiki, getting a Reiki session. This could be, there's just a lot of things that, you can plan or start building towards, but you're kind of avoiding that. And since we're talking about relationships quite a bit, or we could be given this moon, there may be some relationships in your life that, you're hanging on to them out of tradition. You're hanging on to them out of obligation. You're hanging on to them out of fear of moving on, codependency. There's a codependency card in here later. There's the big one with the Devil, and then there's another one down the line here. So it could just be straight up codependency as well with some relationships, and you're not wanting to see that. You do, but you don't, right? And we all know what this energy feels like, right? When you know, but you pretend that you don't. Okay. But that leads to this kind of energy, kind of an inactive, stagnant, sort of knock you on your ass when this does eventually come. And then later you beat yourself up. Or while you clean up the mess, you beat yourself up for why didn't I do that sooner? And I knew better and yada, 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 yada. Okay? That's that. Then you have the Magician. Whew. And then I get a break off of these majors for a couple of cards until we get back into it again. But you have the Magician. Love the Magician card. So the Magician is an alchemist. He makes magic, right? And he does so because he's got balance with all of the elements. He's got a wand, he's got a cup, he's got a pentacle, and he's got a sword. Okay? And we've got Easter lilies. I think we're coming up on Easter. I don't celebrate, so I lose track of these things. But we've got Easter. Yeah, we've got Easter lilies. We've got other, roses. So, this is a lot of, roses. You think kind of like romance and relationships. Easter lilies, purity, resurrection, right? Back to this wheel turning and this Tower coming. Things are going to change, right? There may be a resurrection. There may be, and this is all growth too. We've got growth, through these plants. So things are going to change, and if you're feeling really sturdy and confident in your sense of self, you're going to look at this card and be like, finally, finally. If you're not quite there yet and you're still sort of swimming in this energy and not really sure what you need to let go of, you're going to look at this card and be like, I'm not resonating with that. Or, I got way too much going on to see this right now. Okay? So, yeah, definite fork in the road on this mood. Really interesting. Next up is the Six of Pentacles reversed. This is another codependency card on the minor arcana side. Upright. It's nice, balanced, Six of Pentacles, a lot of like equal give and take. This is the equal give and take card. When it is reversed, it is not. It is the opposite of that. It is, you are giving too much or you are taking too much. Right? There's an imbalance, again, usually in your relationships. And this might be kind of burning you out. This might be bumming you out, right? And perhaps this is the precursor to this, right? You've been feeling this for a hot minute, and this is coming, but that's not going to be pleasant. So you don't really want to deal with that right now. I'm too tired. I'm too busy. I'm too blah. I'm too this and whatever. The things that we tell ourselves. But yeah, there's codependency going on here, and there's some movement in different directions if you're on board with that. If you're on board. Next up is the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords energy. This is the first sword on the board. I mean, it's only the second minor, but this is the first sword on the board. And sword is about decisive action. This is very logical thought. This is taking this reversed Emperor energy and turning it around a little bit. That lack of planning or that avoidance of the plan that you should do. Did I say Knight of Swords? Excuse me. King of Swords. The King of Swords cuts through that. I don't know why this doesn't want to. There we go. The King of Swords cuts through all that, right? Like the extemporaneous bullshit, the internal and external noise that's going on kind of at the front end of this reading. Yowza. Cuts through that crap, right? And goes ahead and makes the decisions. Executes the plan, starts going in a direction, right? Instead of sort of floundering like this has been reading as, right? Just kind of that floundering, wishy-washy, kind of wimping out sort of energy. And I don't mean that in a rude way. Like I don't want to minimize or belittle these challenging situations and sort of the internal turmoil that comes with that. I say wimping out, with the best intentions, but I've been there. I've been in these situations where I knew, my God, like I could see a flapping red flag and then not do anything about it for a year, and still the only reason something was done about it was because like the third tower had fallen. So, I don't want anybody to get the impression that I'm sitting over here on my high horse being like, it's not, no. So anyway, King of Swords is kind of having a little more laser focus. It is saying, hey, you know what, this devil energy, I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge it for what it is, and I'm going to change that. I'm going to start working towards changing that. The wheel is turning. I better go with it. It'll be a smoother ride if I go with it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then get to this making magic. Because what, this codependency thing, no matter what side or level of that you're involved in, it gets tiring. Okay, it really does. And that you're done. You want to make these decisions. Because what you want is balance. See, now this is a nice major to end with, or like as the foundational energy. You want balance, and I think this is the problem. You're not feeling balanced. Back to that sense of self, that kind of fraudulent sense of self here. Look, okay, so here's the first card that came out, and here's the foundational card, or the last card, for this larger read. Totally different energy. Totally different. Look at this devil card. Confusing. Right? What the hell am I looking at? Confusing, jarring, uncomfortable. And look at the Lovers. Bright, abundant, balanced, playful. Shadow side, light. We have them both. But this isn't taking over. What does that mean to you? I'm not pulling majors today. I think I've run out of majors. Do I want to pull chakra cards? Maybe. Let's see. Oh, yes. Well, these tell this story in 3 cards. The smoky mirror. That's this. That's also this. What are you deceiving yourself about? What are you not wanting to see that you've already seen? What are you avoiding? You got to unsmudge that mirror and you got to kind of deal with it. But this is what comes down the pike when you do that. Rainbow. Full chakras. These are all the chakras, right? Balance. Equal give and take. Releasing codependency. Toxicity. Feeling happy, healthy, whole, grounded, comfortable, confident. Okay? Not an overnight process, and you know that. You know that because you wouldn't be delaying the inevitable if you thought it was an overnight process. Hello? Who would, right? Like, oh, well, if I can just get to balance and attainment by being like, boop, let me do this thing, push this button, I think we'd all be there right now, right? Like, we are human. We like ease of access. We avoid discomfort. It is what it is. But the hard work pays off when you do it, right? This is why it's hard, though, because there's twists and turns to it, because it's not linear. You know, these are some of our human limitations. We all have it. We want instant fixes. We want instant gratification. We want linear timelines. We want timelines. You know, we don't do twists and turns and back and forth and change and transition and tough decisions and tough conversation. We don't do those well, right? We don't. And, you know, and then we get in our own way sometimes and you know, stick our head in the sand and get ourselves kind of wrapped around and, you know, wrapped into and stuck in these different situations. I mean, it's just, it's part of the deal. Again, this is not Crystal on her high horse being like, well, you know, what a bunch of idiots here. No, this is like, I hear you, I feel you. This is not easy. And this is why it's not a straight line. And oftentimes you can't see the end goal, or you have an end goal and it's completely different or takes you in a completely different direction, but you get the same outcome. You know what I mean? Like the unknown and the mystery, the smoky mirrors that are just there as part of life, but that we put in our own path or other people put in our path, make it even more challenging, right? We keep pushing because we know that this is where we're headed and what we want. There's all kinds of crap that comes in the path. So yeah, we avoid the inevitable sometimes. 'Tis what it is. I'm gonna see. Hey, this read says a lot about sense of self. You know, where you're at with that and codependence and all of that. So oftentimes when those issues come up, especially on kind of a larger karmic scale like this, we're looking at the root chakra. A lot of family issues can live in this type of energy, right? You know, unresolved, unhealed family wounds, etc. And that'll be your root chakra, right? And it can also live in your sacral chakra quite a bit as well. Well, and your solar plexus, right? That's your confidence. That's your like how you sort of present to the world and others. That is, yeah, that's solar plexus. Sacral chakra, yeah, sacral chakra is your self-worth. Oftentimes we end up in codependent situations because we don't think we deserve better than that, okay? Because there's oftentimes family issues around that have conditioned us to understand and believe that we are not worthy of something that doesn't look like our toxic family situation. So we repeat these cycles, right? We have been trained, essentially, we have been programmed that we do not deserve something beyond what our familiar is, right? Comfort in the familiar, even if it's not good for you. So yeah, your self-worth is something to really look at, your sense of self, right? This is all about sense of self. This Libra full moon is all about that. Have faith. When those lower chakras are blocked, especially if they're like 1, 2, 3, root, sacral, solar plexus, you're not getting much download in the crown, right? How? We start from the root and we go up. If that's all clogged, it ain't happening. So, have some faith. They are trying to give you messages, right? The universe is on your side. The universe really wants you to feel better, okay? Co-create with the universe. Spend some time. This would be an excellent, excellent moon to do that, especially if you're feeling this level of wonky and uncomfortable, right? This could take the look of moon rituals. This could take the look of journaling, taking some space, right? Spending time with yourself and Creator would be good for you for this moon. That's what I'm feeling. All right, let's see if we can get you a couple of nice light animals. Damn it. I'm like getting gun shy on these collective readings now because I'm like, why can't I get something light and fluffy? But you know what? That's not up for me. Or that's not up to me. That's not for me to decide. But let me see if I can get you just some nice comfort here. Some cold comfort. No, really, I mean, this wheel is turning because it it's ready for you to come with it. And I think you are too. With this Magician upright and the Lovers. I think you are too, but it's very scary to make these decisions. They feel very permanent, and they may be, right? And all of that unknown is just, yeah, especially if you're already kind of like stressed out and it's going to be a big change and all that, not fun. And again, for those of you that are feeling real sturdy in your sense of self, your homework is to just kind of chill out on that Aries energy that's trying to bust in and do a recalibration. There is a tendency with this on the board, if you're feeling grounded in your sense of self and you're feeling more impatient than anything, that Aries energy from this new moon that's coming in a couple of weeks is already starting to creep in. Your homework is to sit with this energy anyway. When we start feeling overly confident and arrogant, there could be tower moments that we're not seeing, because we're just kind of being arrogant. We're like, nah, I'm ready to go, so I'm going to ignore this area here because that doesn't fit into my plan, and I have this timeline that I'm going to get this done by such and such time. Very Aries energy, right? I'm going to do this thing by this time, and I have the full authority to do that. And that's when sometimes universe can come and be like, actually you don't, and your arrogance is not going to suit you here, so we need to shake this out a little bit, and you need to chill out, right? Like we're gonna kind of a little bit. So little lighter homework for y'all that are feeling, less devil energy and more grounded. But take this Libra energy seriously. Take this full moon seriously. Don't think you're above it, in an arrogant fashion. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. I'll leave it at that. Now, 3 animal oracle cards to send you all on your way, because we're already looking at 30 minutes. Oh my goodness. And this will apply to kind of both of those paths for this particular moon. Truth transcends illusion. Pay attention. Pay attention to the flags. Pay attention to the synchronicities. Pay attention to your intuition, what you're seeing, what you're feeling. That's going to transcend any illusion that your ego has wiped all over this scene. Okay? Life is a mystery. Oh, dear God, yes. Life is a mystery. Things may start changing in ways that you did not expect. You may be making choices that you did not expect yourself to do. And if it's feeling right, go with it. And life is a mystery. For those of you that are feeling pretty confident and comfortable in your sense of self, you may need to, again, sit in this energy a little bit just to make sure, because, we'd hate to have some sort of surprise come up and knock you off your axis, right? Get a little ahead of that game. And claim your independence. Again, we've got a lot of codependence in this particular reading, so this is kind of the final word of, claim your independence. Find that sense of self, unblock that root, sacral, solar plexus trifecta that you've got going on, and claim your independence. Pretty card. Very pretty card. And again, back to this, your creative energy lives in your sacral chakra, which there's a lot of orange in this kitty card here. Your creative energy lives there. So perhaps by creating some, right? Whatever that may be, create some art, create some music, whatever. That may help unblock some stuff for you. Okay? Alrighty, friends, I'm going to split. Again, this is your full moon reading for the full moon in Libra on Sunday, March 28th. I will be back. Oh shoot, yeah, I gotta do a weekly too. Yeah, I'll be back later, either today or tomorrow with your weekly read. But in the meantime, I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you got what you needed. And again, take what resonates and leave the rest behind, because this is a general reading. And if you'd like to know more about me or get a personal reading, you can find out more at takatarot.com, and that is TAKA tarot.com. Thanks, friends. Have a good one.